As they wheeled me into the theatre, I felt a huge sense of relief.
Leakage and pus coming.
Something.
No, silicone dangerous.
Silicone is dangerous because it's moving.
I've had 2 rhinoplasties, that's 2 nose jobs. The first one was in April 2007 in London, England, where I live, and I was 31. The second one was in summer 2009 in Bangkok, Thailand, when I was 33. As regards rhinoplasty number 1, I chose a surgeon who, of the 4 or 5 surgeons that I had consultations with about a rhinoplasty, seemed to be the one with the most experience in noses like mine. In other words, noses with a flat bridge, really large flared nostrils and a large bulbous tip, as you are hopefully seeing now. Now that said, having seen before and after pictures of rhinoplasty surgeries that the surgeon that I went to had done, I didn't think his nose jobs were that great. I just thought he was good enough, and I definitely thought he was better for me than the other surgeons, as I say, that I went to see about having a nose job. So I wasn't expecting a perfect nose, but I believed that I would be getting a nose that I would be happy with. It would have a bridge, it would have very small nostrils, and it would have a very small tip as well. And I was really, really eager to have my nose surgery as soon as possible. I was 31, as I've mentioned, and I'd had 31 years of really nasty bullying about the way that I looked. And I'm hardly unique in having been bullied. There are millions of other people around the world who have had the same experience, I know. Now, in teaching, we have a number of holidays spread around the year. I was having my consultations with cosmetic surgeons in February half term in order to prepare to have the surgery in the Easter holiday to April 2007, and Easter holiday being a 2-week holiday, giving me ample time to recover. I wasn't waiting until summer, which is a 6-week holiday. It was too far away, and I wasn't having it done in the May half term. That's a 1-week holiday that runs from the end of May to the beginning of June, because firstly, it was too far away, and secondly, I wanted at least 2 weeks for my recovery. And I had run out of time in the February half term where I was seeing cosmetic surgeons about having a nose job to look for more surgeons, to give me what I considered my dream nose. So as I say, I decided I would go with the guy who at least had the most experience in doing noses like mine, and who for me was better than the other surgeons that I'd seen. So I knew I wouldn't get the nose of my dreams, but I knew also that I was very likely to get a nose that was much less obtrusive and that I could just forget about and be content with after that rhinoplasty. That was my thinking. And in fact, I remember on the day of the surgery, April 2007, as they wheeled me into the theatre, the operating theatre, I felt a huge sense of relief because I knew that I'd seen my nose as it was for the very last time. It was actually as if I'd already had the surgery at that point. Ultimately though, I did end up disappointed with my nose job, and I accept my share of the blame for that because, as I said, I knew I wasn't going to get the nose of my dreams, but I actually ended up a lot more disappointed with it than I expected to be. The surgeon installed an implant into my nose to raise the bridge, and it wasn't a silicone implant, which seems, as far as I'm aware, to be the most common type of implant for a nose job. Does that mean that even if somebody is having their first rhinoplasty and they want to have their bridge raised, you use rib cartilage or air cartilage for the implant for their nose?
Yes.
In their first rhinoplasty?
Yes, first rhinoplasty. But if first rhinoplasty, she or he has enough cartilage from the inner of the nose, we use it.
Okay.
Yeah. We call septum, we have a septum cartilage. Mostly we're using septum cartilage by itself.
Silicone dangerous.
Silicone is dangerous because it's moving.
We don't use it.
We don't use silicone bridge.
We use your cartilage.
I would remove this implant and replace it with an autologous tissue, autologous cartilage, and we'll take a cartilage from your rib.
So I advise her
to take the silicone implant inside of her nose, and we need to take a costal rib cartilage and put into her nose.
The best guaranteed job is using your rib cartilage. We are taking from here and we are transferring to
Silicone.
the bone, and the
Kayar.
silicone
İşte
can
burada problem
move
olur.
like this. It's moving.
I distinctly remember him saying that he doesn't use silicone implants in nose jobs because they could extrude. Now, I can't remember what the implant that he gave me was made of, and luckily for me, whatever it was made of, it disintegrated because over the course of the time after my rhinoplasty procedure, rhinoplasty number 1, the bridge of my nose sank back down. It didn't go completely flat, fortunately, but it did sink considerably. Also, for the first few months after rhinoplasty 1, I had really nice, slim, unobtrusive nostrils, but then gradually they started to expand again, and yeah, they got bigger again, and also regained a bit of their flared look. They weren't nearly as big or as flared as they had been originally, thankfully, but still they weren't to my liking. So that led me to have rhinoplasty number 2 in summer 2009 in Bangkok, Thailand. The surgeon who did rhinoplasty number 1 wasn't a rhinoplasty specialist, and neither was the surgeon who did rhinoplasty number 2. This is the result of rhinoplasty number 2. So this is how it looks from my left, because this is my left. And here it is from the right. And here from the front, I'll raise a bit. And so there you go. Now, of the 3 noses that I've effectively had, to me, this is the best looking. And by no means, in my opinion, is it terrible. You know, mostly is unobtrusive. I don't think it spoils my face. I think my nose will look nicer if there were 3 changes to it. I would like the bridge to be a bit less tall. I would like this nostril to
This
be
is gonna be
the same
so.
size.
This is gonna be your second or third one.
This would be my 3rd nose job.
Okay.
So this nostril should be the same size and shape as this nostril, and the implant is sticking out here, and so you can make the tip a bit longer because it's too short, especially on this side.
Yeah. And you have an nostril show.
I've got a what?
Nostril show. We said nostril show. You can see the inside of.
And it's I've got discoloration there.
Yes.
One is having the bridge made a bit less tall because I think it's too tall and it looks unnatural.
Yeah.
It looks fake. Number 2, make this nostril the same size and shape as this nostril. And number 3 is to make my nose a little bit longer, which you said the tip needs improving. So yeah. That said, I do plan to have a 3rd and hopefully final rhinoplasty to address 3 features of my nose as it is. Number 1, I would like to have the bridge made a bit less tall. And hopefully that will also address the blockiness that I've got on this side, which I don't seem to have on the right side. Secondly, I would like to have my bridge lengthened slightly because for me it's too short. It doesn't look, obviously short, perhaps on my right hand side. But on my left-hand side, I think it does look obviously short. And I think one reason for that is because of all the skin missing from my left nostril. And that brings me on to issue number 3. I would like to have my left nostril made the same size and shape of my right nostril. A further 2 issues with my nose as it is that will hopefully be addressed in my 3rd rhinoplasty is the skin that pokes out on this side of the left side then of my septum. That's the septum and that's the skin poking out. I don't understand.
This is implant neck.
Okay.
Bu implantın destek bacağı. Bu implantlar şöyle
The
şeyler.
implant supporter.
Also, the implant is hanging from outside of her nose.
And it's also got like discoloration, so dark, a darker colour near the bottom and then lighter pinky colour near the top. Also inside my left nostril, ever since rhinoplasty 2, I get a scab forming every single day.
var bunlarda.
Every time he is using rib
hep
cartilage, not silicone or
before.
something.
No. Silicone dangerous.
Silicone is dangerous because it's moving. First, when you did it, it wasn't looking like this, right?
Now, because that's been going on for years, I don't think there's any skin left where the scab forms, because whenever I stretch the nostril out, which I won't do now, well, I'll do it, but you won't be able to see it. You won't see what I mean, which is that when I stretch it out and look in the mirror, I can see not like pink or brown, the colour of skin. All I can see is white. What is that?
Here,
Yeah, the white colour.
white color is silicone color.
Now that isn't skin. I don't know whether it's bone or cartilage or flesh or something else, but it isn't skin, because in all the years that I've been getting a scab or a scar forming in that area and then picking it off, sorry about that, the skin has gone.
There's a lot of work. Oh, I can see that there's here all a leakage and pus coming.
And the second issue, the second extra issue, is that on the outside of my right nostril, every few weeks I get an irritation. It just makes the skin on the outside of my right nostril really itchy and scratchy and horrible and irritating. And it also changes colour. It goes quite dark brown, and it stays like that. I get that issue going on for a few days, and then it eventually heals and clears up and goes away, only to return again a few weeks later. Professor, are you able to cure my rhinitis? I've got non-allergic rhinitis. My nose is always running.
Well, did it happen after the surgery?
No, I've had it all my life.
No, the surgery will not change that.
Now, I do think the two problems that I've just highlighted are very uncommon. I don't think many other people get those problems when they have a rhinoplasty. So I think I've just been a bit unlucky there. But anyway, hopefully in my third and hopefully final rhinoplasty, those issues will be addressed. If before having my first nose job, I'd had the information about having a nose job that I share in this video, I honestly think my first nose job would have been fine. And as you can see, therefore, I wouldn't have needed any further nose jobs. I'll meet you in that video.